Okay, so this video set is on part 3 of the 1.1 review equations, and then I just want to refresh your memory on checking to see if your answer is correct. So the first problem here is 38 minus 2x equals 30 minus 2 times quantity 2x minus 1. So the first thing we want to do is simplify each side. The left-hand side is already simplified, but the right-hand side I need to distribute. So I'll have 38 minus 2x equals 30 minus 4x plus 2. Now I need to get my variables to one side and my numbers to the other side. So I'm going to, actually I'm going to simplify the right-hand side further first, just to make that easier to work with. So I'll have 32 minus 4x on the right-hand side. Then I'm going to add the 2x to both sides. So that leaves me with 38 equals 32 minus 2x. And I'm going to subtract 32 from the right-hand side. And that gives me 6 equals negative 2x. Divide both sides by negative 2. And I come up with x equals negative 3. Now, to verify our solution, we want to plug our result back into the original equation. We plug it in for x. So I've already written that out here. So I have 38 minus 2 times negative 3. And I put a question mark over the equal saying, does that equal 30 minus 2 times quantity 2 times negative 3 minus 1. So then I just go ahead and calculate out each side, where I'll have 38 plus 6 on the left-hand side. Does that equal 30 minus 2? And then in the parentheses, I would have a negative 6 minus 1. That's going to give me a negative 7. So when I calculate out both sides, I'll get 38 plus 6 is a 44. And on the right-hand side, I get 30 plus 14, which would also be 44. So that is true. So therefore, negative 3 is a solution. Now, problem number 2, we have some fractions to deal with. So we can use a technique called clearing the fractions and get it just into a more straightforward problem. So here we have a quarter x plus 1/3 equals 1/6 minus x. Now if I look at all these denominators, I have a 4, a 3, and a 6. And don't forget about the, if there's 1 in the denominator. So this x is just like x over 1. So then I figure out what number would all of those denominators divide into without a remainder. And that would actually be 12 would work. So I'm going to multiply every term by 12. It's really, I'm multiplying the whole equation by 12. And then distributing. So now I can reduce. So 4 into 12 would give me a 3 in the numerator there. 12 over 3 here would give me a 4 in the numerator for the second term. And then on the right hand side, I would have 12 over 6 is going to give me a 2 in the numerator. And even though the x just has a 1 as a denominator, we still need to multiply that as well. So this technique I'm sure you've learned before, but just to review it, we use it a lot when we do rational equations. So we don't like those variables down in the denominator at all. So now we're just going to clean it up. 3 times 1 times x would be 3x. Plus 4 times 1 is 4. Equals, on the right hand side we have a 2 times 1 would leave us with 2. Minus x times 12 is 12x. So now what I'm looking at is a much simpler problem to solve. 3x plus 4 equals 2 minus 12x. I can now just simply add 12x to both sides. It gives me 15x plus 4 equals 2. And I subtract 4 from both sides. 15x equals negative 2, and divide both sides by 15 to isolate my variable. Now we get x equals negative 2/15. And that is my final answer. And again, you would just plug that back in to the original equation to verify. I'm not going to go through that process. I just wanted to show you in that first one. Now the same idea of clearing the fractions can be used to clear decimals, especially if you're not working with a calculator, which often may be the case in this course. So we're just going to multiply the entire thing by the furthest decimal out. So we would need to do 100. Our original problem here is 0.04x plus 0.03 on the left hand side equals 0.02x minus 0.1 on the right hand side. So basically I'm just going to multiply every term by 100 to get 4x plus 3. Remember, my shortcut is just move the decimal place 2 places right. Equals 2x minus 10. Be careful with that one, even though us just to the 10th place, we still need to multiply by 100. Then I go ahead and do my solving process. I'm just going to do this in one line. Minus 2x from both sides. And subtract 3 from both sides. So that leaves me with 2x equals minus 13. Divide both sides by 2. So my answer is x equals negative 13 halves. Again, just leave it as a reduced improper fraction, which it is. Also, make sure you center that negative with the fraction bar. That's it for the 1.1 review. Next, we'll do 1.2, scientific notation and exponents, and then some application problems. Thank you for watching.